everybody, my name is Simone and welcome to Simone's Bedtime Stories. Me and my pals are getting ready to sleep and we are going to hear a bedtime story. Hi Daddy, I'm ready.
Hi Simone, you ready? You ready for a bedtime story?
Yeah.
Alright. So what story to tell?
We can continue the story of Mahabharat.
Okay, let's continue the story of Mahabharat. So where did we left off? Where did we finish it? So far, how much, where are we? What did we talk about in the last episode? What happened?
When Dronacharya was going to challenge?
Dronacharya was, we talked about Eklavya, right? We talked, you told the story of the competition, right? Where Arjuna shot his arrow perfectly on the bird's eye. So basically what is happening now? The princes are learning the skill of archery and everything else from Dronacharya and Kripacharya, right? Dronacharya is the teacher and he likes Arjuna very much, and there was Eklavya that came in and he took the thumb of Eklavya as a fee for what he learned from Dronacharya.
And then he started doing it with his left hand.
Exactly.
And then Dronacharya took that thumb off.
No, he did not take that thumb off. He just took one thumb off, right thumb.
And then
Even though Eklavya lost his right thumb, he still was so much passionate about this archery skill, so he kept on practicing and he was getting good at it with his left hand, right? That's Eklavya's story ends there. So coming back to Dronacharya, now all these kids, all these princes are getting really trained and getting really good at what they're doing. So finally they have a tournament.
What's a tournament?
A tournament is it's a day full of activities, a day full of sports. So there are different people compete, different princes compete in different sports. I mean, it could be archery, it could be horse riding, it could be riding the chariot, it could
be throwing axes.
Throw axes, yeah, all kinds of sports activities that will let people demonstrate the participants demonstrate their excellence. Who is the best archer?
Did they do throwing axes?
I don't know if they did throwing axes, but
did they do pretend sword fighting?
Yes, sword fighting. Yes, sword fighting, archery, chariot riding. What is a chariot riding?
It's like you ride in this small car or something that's pulled by horses.
Exactly. So that's chariot riding, and then even elephant riding, and then sword fighting, and then throwing the spears.
Those round things, those round balls, or what are
those are different. Spears are long, rods with very pointed tip, so that's very sharp.
So you have to throw it. They might have this target where you have to throw the spears.
Exactly. In war, they kill people with that spear.
Oh.
Okay. So that's why. So this tournament is a day where everybody jumps in and shows their talent. Hey, I'm good at Arjuna's will come in. Hey, I'm good at archery. Bhima will come in and bring his big kata and say, hey, I'm good at this mace fighting. That's called mace fighting. And Duryodhana will come and say, I am good at mace fighting as well. He'll do the fighting also. Like that, everybody showcases their skills. So while all this is happening, then there is Karna also coming. Karna has Karna wants to join the tournament, and Karna is coming and saying, hey, I want to join the tournament also. I want to showcase my skills, because Karna is what? Karna is Kunti's son. But sun god gave her the son, right? So that he also has special powers, and he was born with golden shield on his chest, right? And then he also has golden earrings, yeah. So that all that gives special protection, and he has special powers and special skill. He is also equally good in all these archery and everything, right? He is equally good as Arjuna almost in archery, and then in other skill sets, right? So he is coming and saying, hey, I also want to join. But Kripacharya says, hey, no, you cannot join, because this tournament is reserved only for princes. You have to be a king or a prince to participate in this tournament. You know what? Duryodhana looks at it. Wow, this guy looks pretty smart. And he has a special thing going on with his golden, plated chest and this, God given. So this guy has something special. You know what? I'm going to befriend him. So Duryodhana says, hey, Karna is going to become a friend of mine, and I am going to give my kingdom, Anga. Duryodhana has a kingdom called Anga, and I'm going to give that kingdom to Karna. That means, he is going to become the king of Anga. So now he is a king, and he can participate in this tournament. So Karna was so, thankful. Karna became so grateful. Oh my God, I didn't even know this guy. He wants to make me a king of his kingdom. That's so awesome. He is such a nice guy. He's the best friend of mine forever. And he becomes a very good friend with who?
Duryodhana.
Duryodhana. Who's Duryodhana?
He's the eldest among the 100 brothers.
Who are the 100 brothers?
Duryodhana.
No. What is that group called?
The Kauravas.
Kauravas, exactly. So the 100 brothers are Duryodhana, Duryodhana, and then the rest of the 98, and then who is one more?
The girl.
What is that name? Dushala.
Dushala,
right? So they're all, so now Duryodhana, made Karna the king of Anga, and so Karna was like so elated and so happy and so thankful and so grateful to Duryodhana, and he becomes a very best friend of Duryodhana, right? So now, the tournament ends, and everybody is happy, and people win different prizes, and everybody is happy. And now Dronacharya is thinking, what is his problem? What is his problem? What is that thing he has unresolved yet? He hasn't finished.
That challenge?
Exactly. What is his challenge?
Against Draupada and him?
So Draupada was a childhood friend of his, and they spent, so much, good time.
Together.
Yeah, so much time together, and they were best friends when they were young, but Draupada completely forgot now, right? So what Dronacharya says, hey, I have the best of the best, princes that can do wonders. I mean, they can win any war. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ask all these 5 Pandava brothers, send them to Draupada, and I'm going to, imprison Draupada and bring him to me. So
what does that mean?
That means these kids, these 5 kids, right? Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, Sakadeva, they are going to go on behalf of Dronacharya. They're going to fight Draupada and take him, put him in a chariot, and then bring him to Dronacharya. So he can fall on Dronacharya's feet and ask for forgiveness. That is his challenge, right? Is that his challenge?
Yeah.
So Dronacharya says, hey, he calls the 5 brothers, and he says, hey, I need help from you guys. I need this challenge I have this conflict that I had with the King Draupada.
Conflict.
Conflict means, he promised me something, but he's not delivering. He's not keeping up his promise. So I went to ask his question. I went to ask him, hey, you made me this promise. When are you going to keep me this, fulfill this promise? That guy just acted as if he never did that promise, right? So
like he was acting like, oh, go away. He
forgot. Exactly. So that's when, that's the conflict. But Dronacharya thinks, he made that promise to him, so he has to give him half of his kingdom. But the other guy thinks, that was a playful promise, and I never did the promise. That's what he's saying, right? So now, Dronacharya has these 5 soldiers, or 5 really, 5 warriors, 5 brothers. They are warriors now, right? Because they are trained. Arjuna is very good in archery. Bhima is very good in that his kata, and then Nagula and Sahadeva are good fighters, and then you also have Yudhishthira. Exactly. So he has 5. Yudhishthira is more of a wisdom guy. Yudhishthira is he is good at
like strategy. He
strategizing.
Strategies.
Exactly.
And then the other 4 do all that
fighting and things like exactly. He is more of a like, hey, hold on. If there is a problem, hold on. Let's not jump into anything. Let's take a step back. Let's think through this thoroughly. Why do you want to do it? What is the reason you want to do it? What are the
the reason is because Draupada
insulted.
But when they were little, he made a promise, and then he's not keeping up his promise.
Exactly. So that is the reason for the conflict. So no, I'm just telling what type of personality is Yudhishthira, right? You asked. So Yudhishthira is the eldest among all this five. So sometimes
he thinks of the strategies,
he
how to
thinks
do it.
exactly. He thinks not only he thinks of the strategy, but he's who gave Yudhishthira to Kunti, the god of Dharma. So Dharma, god of Dharma stands for always doing the right thing, always doing the honest thing, always doing the thing that is of integrity, right? You always have to do the right thing, because if you do wrong things, then wrong things will come back to you. But if you do right things,
then right things
will come back to you. That's called karma, right? That's called karma, because that's what happens in the world.
But do you have to do it perfectly right?
No. You see, there is no perfection.
Okay.
Forget. Take perfection from your dictionary. Okay, you don't have to be perfect all the time. But when there are two people coming and telling you a problem, you have to resolve that correctly. You have to
do it correctly.
You have to be, you do the right thing for both the people. You cannot, fall on one side, or you cannot support one guy and let the other guy go, or you cannot support this guy and then make the other guy feel bad. Right? Remember justice. That's what kings were good at back in those days. Kings always did the right things. Remember I told you another story where there was a king and his son was playing with his chariot, and by mistake he ran the chariot on a calf and then killed the calf, and there was a cow. That cow was so sad because the cow's baby, which was a calf, was dead, and the cow came to the king. In those days, the kings will have this bell. Whoever has a problem, they can ring the bell. So like this, the cow went and rang the bell. The king came and asked, hey, what is your problem? The cow said, hey, I had this baby, and this baby was killed by a boy that ran the chariot on the baby, which is my calf, and killed the calf. The calf is dead. So what does the king say? So the king says, hey, the right way to do it is, whatever you suffered, whatever your calf suffered, the baby cow suffered, the same suffering the boy also needs to go through. And the king delivers the judgment without realizing what?
Without realizing?
That boy was actually his own son.
Yeah. Oh.
You remember the story? The story of King Manu?
No.
No, you don't remember. Okay, well, I'll tell you that story later. Actually, we'll go ahead and complete that story. So the story is that, there is this calf that was playing on the street, and, the boy
accidentally ran the
chariot on the calf and killed the calf.
Yeah.
And the cow that's watching all this became so sad because it's his baby, right? The cow's baby is dead. And the cow, so in those days, the kings will have a big bell. So whoever has, it's called the Araichi bell.
So you have this little string and then you need to ring it?
Ring it, the king will come and ask you, hey, what is your problem? How can I help you? So like that, the cow went and rang the bell, and the king came and asked, and the cow said, hey, my calf is dead because a boy on the street, rode the chariot on the cow and killed my baby calf, So the cow was so sad and told the king was, oh cow, sorry to hear that, I will make sure the boy gets the same punishment, how you're, the right punishment is, the boy also will have to be, the chariot will have to be, you have to ride the chariot on the boy and kill the boy. That's the right thing to do. That's the right justice. That's the justice the king gives, but the king doesn't know that it was his own son that did that. And then later the king hears, oh my God, was it my son? But still, what did the king do? Because he delivered that judgment, and because that's the right thing to do, even though it was his son, he still rode the chariot on his son and killed his son.
Why did he do that?
Because that's the right thing to do for the cow. The cow suffered.
Why couldn't he tell his son not to do it?
No, but the calf is already dead. Right? You have to deliver the right judgment to the cow. So that is called dharma, right? So the Yudhishthira was given to Kunti by the god of dharma, right? So Yudhishthira will always do the right thing. Yudhishthira will always think, what is the right thing to do, and then do it.
So Bhima.
See, the Bhima, Arjuna, and all those guys sometimes will do things in haste, in a hurry. Haste means in a hurry. Okay? Sometimes they look at something and they immediately want to fight and go and kill the people, kill the guys. But Dharma will say, no, let's not do that. Stop right there. let's take a step back. Let's understand what the problem is.
And
Let's
then we can
understand the
analyze
context.
it.
Exactly. Let's understand the context. Understand whose problem it is, whose mistake it is, and then let's do the right thing. That's what Dharma's strength is. Okay, and he'll also strategize, like you said. Okay, this is what it is. This is what it is. So that's what Dharma does, right? So now, why did we talk about this?
Because I was asking you how Dharma.
What is the strength of Dharma?
What's the strength of
Exactly. What is the strength
If
of?
all the other brothers fight, then what does the fifth one do?
It was the first one. Yudhishthira is the first one, and then Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadev. All the four fight, but Yudhishthira will take a step back and then let's think over it.
He'll think and
He'll understand
he'll
what the problem is. He'll strategize. He'll apply his wisdom, and he'll say, "Brothers, this is the right thing to do. Let's do this right thing."
Okay.
That's what Yudhishthira does, right? So you understand the strength of Yudhishthira, you understand the strength of Bhima, you understand the strength of Arjuna.
Bhima is the best at
Katha,
kathas.
exactly. And she's very strong and very
what
big.
What does Arjuna does that?
Archery.
What does Nakula?
Nakula and Sahadev were like soldiers, they fight a lot. They do,
They're really good at
sword fighting and things like that. Yeah. They are more like, they take care of all these three brothers in terms of, guarding them and things like that. Okay. So now what happened? So Dronacharya is telling these five brothers, hey, you go to
fight
Draupada. Draupada is the king of Panchal. Panchal is the country that Draupada is ruling. So now they go to Panchal, they fight.
But doesn't the king have bunch of soldiers and bunch of fighters?
That's a very good question.
How
Yes.
can the five brothers handle all of that?
See, there is something called, you can do two things, right? One is a war. A war is,
bunch of people fighting on one side and bunch of people fighting on the other.
Not just bunch, it's like hundreds of people fighting on one side, hundreds of people fighting on the other side. And there is a code of conduct. There are certain rules that you have to follow when you fight a war. The war begins when they blow the whistle, it's called concho.
It's like this big horn, like you have to use and then it makes this big sound.
Big sound, and then they say, okay, now the war begins. And then they don't fight after like 7 p.m. or 6 p.m., something like that. So they stop the fight, then they go to their own camps and then relax, rest, and then come back again next day and then fight.
Fighting.
Exactly. So they have all these rules that they follow. But these guys, there is also another style of fighting called guerrilla fighting.
You fight like gorillas?
You fight like gorillas. That means only 10 people go instead of sending 100 people or 1,000 people on one side.
Oh, so you mean if you send it in different groups?
No, not in different groups. It's like a guerrilla attack. What that means is 10 people that are very, very skillful, that are very, 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 very good in so many different things, they attack the king in the night. So the king doesn't even know somebody's attacking him. While the king is sleeping, these 10 guys go and attack the king, take the king when he expects the least, when he doesn't expect anybody, he's having a good time, So they go and attack the king and then capture the king and then bring the king to, Dronacharya. So that's what these guys are doing. These five brothers.
Oh,
Okay. So these.
But sometimes won't kings have soldiers watch them in the night?
They will have, but they will not have hundreds of soldiers. They'll have like 5 or 10 soldiers at that time. So it's easy when you're so skilled. These 5 brothers, they're so skilled, and they strategize, and then they do it. It's easy to defeat 10 soldiers and then just pick the king alone, put him in the chariot, and then bring him to Dronacharya, right?
Yeah.
So that's what they do. So they plan that attack.
Huh? Where am I?
Exactly, he's going to be like sleeping nicely, yet well, and then sleeping. Suddenly, these 5 brothers show up, and then fight all his gods, and then take the king, put him in the chariot, and bring him to Dronacharya, right?
Yeah.
So that's what they do to who?
Draupada.
Draupada, and who is he? What is his kingdom he is ruling? Panchal.
Panchal.
Okay. So they catch hold of Draupada and they bring him to Dronacharya. Dronacharya is so happy to see Draupada. Draupada, see what you did to me. You promised me to give half of your kingdom, but you did not do it. And on top of it, when I came to your court asking for it, you insulted me. And now see what happened. See, I have this great 5 brothers, the 5 soldiers, 5 warriors. They imprisoned you and brought you to me. So you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to take your entire kingdom. And, because you did not keep your promise, I am going to keep that promise. So I'll take half of your kingdom, I'll give you half of your kingdom back to you. So go away. You take the half, I have the half. So Dronacharya takes half of that and he keeps it with him, and he sends the other half. He sends back Draupada with the other half.
So how did Draupada feel?
Draupada just felt bad. I mean, what can you do? He's like, oh man, I should have just given the half when Dronacharya came to my court, my kingdom.
Now he remembered the promise.
Yeah, now he remembers the promise, and he's like, okay, all right, I'll work with you on that, and then he gives half to Dronacharya. So let's close this episode here. Okay.
Bye everybody. I hope you enjoyed my story, and don't forget you can always listen to more.
All right. Oh my God, this is